I mean, when you play a place like the Bottom Line in New York, and you look out 4 rows, 5 rows, and there's Bob Dylan sitting in the audience. And years later, when I was working with Phil Lesh a few years ago, 6 years ago, Dylan comes up and goes, "Billy, remember the Bottom Line?" I'm thinking, A, how's he know my name? And B, how in the hell does he remember the Bottom Line? I go, yeah, I remember it because you scared the hell out of me sitting out there. Or in 1974, 75, the Rolling Stones at Eden Hall, which is just outside of Amsterdam, en masse came to hear the band. I'm talking to Keith Richards afterwards, and I'm just like gushing as anyone would. He goes, mate, we're all part of the same family, or however he put it, but he meant like welcome to the club. Well, even at that, I didn't quite take it. I mean, I say, hey, well, yeah, I guess these people must think well of us, obviously. But it wasn't until a little later that I realized that particular record, Waiting for Columbus, was a part of that, what would be a high watermark that would actually be an icon of live albums. And all I can say is that, I guess, I'll be 60 next year, and I've done a lot of things, some of which I dreamed about, hoped that would happen, and some things I still hope will happen, obviously, as you continue through. But my upbringing in music was such that I would, in 4th and 5th, 6th grade, would go to the piano to standing ovations at the school assembly, play off the top of my head. And I'll tell you about this one lick after this. But there was, then I'd go back to the seat to sit down and watch the rest of the program, standing ovation. Then I would go out on the playground and get beat up like everybody else. And that's sort of my view of it. Is I know I've accepted the fact that I've got some talent, that I have reached some people. I've played on a lot of stuff and can tell stories about just about anybody and anything that's within a certain realm of reason. But there is that core of just being a regular guy that happens to have a talent, so that when you go to the airport and think, I'm here, get in line, flight's canceled. Hey, how about room service? No, you missed it by 5 minutes. Gee, let's flush the toilet. Boom, it's overflowing. There's endless ways to bring you back down to earth. But I think that's the beauty of the routine. We're all kind of in this together. We have an amazing fan base because we realize that. And people like Jay Herbst, who you worked with. Jay has an extraordinary story. I know you would have one if we were to sit and you were here and I was interviewing you, because I've done that, been on that side of the camera and writing about people myself. We all have a uniquely wonderful story to tell. And I think that's it does put a little weight on what we do, only in that, you're sharing it with some people that have just as heavy or more so than I'll ever be in terms of what we're trying to say. But who are we going to connect with? And we have such an extraordinary audience within that realm, and certainly within the musical community, that I couldn't be prouder, but it's also a very, very humbling experience.